Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय। श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let's read Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 13. So this is about the advent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The advent of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what were we reading? Yeah, so this is the Lord Chaitanya's pastimes in a sutra form. All the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in sutra form that's being described. So we read that day and night, Lord. So this is in the last 12 years of Mahaprabhu's pastimes in Puri, Jagannath Puri. Day and night, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt separation from Krishna. Manifesting symptoms of this separation, he cried and talked very inconsistently like a madman. As Srimati Radharani talked inconsistently when she met Uddhava, so also Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu relished both day and night such ecstatic talk in the mood of Srimati Radharani. The Lord used to read the books of Vidyapati, Jayadev and Chandidas, relishing their songs with his confidential associates like Sri Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar Goswami. In separation from Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu relished all these ecstatic activities and thus he fulfilled his own desires. So, yeah, this is towards the end, the final last 12 years. We don't hear about Mahaprabhu's performing kirtans in public. We don't see that. That happened in the first 6 years. First 6 years means after Mahaprabhu returned from travels, and the last 18 years he stayed in Puri continuously. Of those 18 years, first 6 years he was performing kirtans extensively, inducing millions of people in chanting the holy names of the Lord, in dancing in the kirtan. But in the last 12 years, he was actually experiencing, tasting, and also teaching everyone how to taste the ecstasy of separation from the Lord in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was experiencing. And also, he would read, what were his activities? He would read from the books of Chandidas, Jayadev Goswami, and Vidyapati. And who would he read with? Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar Goswami, who were actually Vishaka and Lalita Gopis. Okay, We'll continue now. Text 44. अनंत चैतन्य लीला क्षुद्र जीव होया के वर्णिते पारे ताहा विस्तार कोरिया. अचिंत देव प्रभु.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Prabhuji.
Translation. The pastime of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are unlimited. How much can a small living entity elaborate about these transcendental pastimes? Thank you, Mataji.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Mahaprabhu's pastimes are unlimited. How can an insignificant living entity elaborate of those transcendental pastimes? So our position is we are so insignificant, tiny particles. What is our capacity? Even though we think we are doing wonderful things, even those wonderful things that we are doing are actually done with the power, with the energy of the Supreme Lord. We don't have anything to claim, to become proud of. So, and what to speak of elaborating the pastimes of the Supreme Lord? How is it possible for an insignificant, small living entity? Like Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami saying, Sutra kori garne jadi apane ananta sahasravadane te ho nahi paya anta. Arunita and Aditi Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
If Seshanaga Ananta personally were to make the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya into sutras, even with his thousands of mouths, there is no possibility that he could find their limit. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, what about me speaking about the transcendental pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? I'm just an insignificant living entity. But even if Anantasesh himself, who is Anantasesh? Anantasesh is an expansion of Nityananda Prabhu, who is the direct expansion, right? The first expansion of Lord Krishna. So if Seshnag Ananta personally were to make the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya into sutras, sutras means into short, like, like a big pastime you would just give in one line, right? In one phrase, that's a sutra. So if that means all the pastime, if you just give in like shorthand, right? Shorthand in small, you just give in sutras all the pastimes. If Anantasesh were to make the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu into sutras, even with his thousands of mouths, there's no possibility that he could find their limit. That means even if he's not elaborating on the pastimes, he's just telling them in sutras, still he would not come to the end of the list. He could not. That many pastimes. This is for Anantasesh. Then who am I? That's the meaning. Damodara Swarupa Ara Gupta Murari Mukhya Mukhya Leela Sutre Likhiyache Vichari. Aditi Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Devotees like Sri Swarup Damodar and Murari Gupta have recorded all the principal pastimes of Lord Chaitanya in the form of notes after deliberate consideration.
So we read that before. Swarup Damodar Goswami kept his notes of the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Puri, later pastimes, sannyas pastimes. And Murari Gupta kept a note of, he maintained a diary of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes when he was in Navadvip in his householder life. And all principal pastimes. How can they keep track of all the pastimes? All the principal pastimes of Lord Chaitanya in the form of notes after deliberate consideration. Say Anusare Likhi Lila Sutra Gana Vistari Varniya Chena Taha Dasa Vrindavana. So next Isha is here. Krishna Shish.
The notes kept by Sri Swarup Damodar and Murari Gupta are the basis of this book. Following those notes, I write all of the pastimes of the Lord. The notes have been described elaborately by Vrindavan Master.
Yeah. So these two, the notes of Murari Gupta and Swarup Damodar Goswami, they are the source for the books written on the biography of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by various Vaishnava acharyas, poets, writers, like Vrindavan Das Thakur wrote Chaitanya Bhagavat, Lochan Das Thakur wrote Chaitanya Mangal, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami wrote Chaitanya Charitamrita. What is the basis, the source for all that information? It is the notes of Murari Gupta and Swarup Damodar Goswami. So here, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying that following those notes, I write off all the pastimes of the Lord. Whatever I have written, I have taken from the notes of Swarup Damodar Goswami and Murari Gupta. And that notes has been described elaborately, nicely expanded by Vrindavan Das Thakur. You will see again and again, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami always glorifies his predecessor, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, who wrote Chaitanya Bhagavat before. And very carefully he avoids repeating the same things which were already written in Chaitanya Bhagavat. He refers the readers to go to Chaitanya Bhagavat wherever. So this part I don't have to explain because this is already explained nicely in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Go and read in Chaitanya Bhagavat, like that. He guides the reader there. And those which were not elaborated by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, he takes them like remnants, right? And then he will elaborate on those. This is a Vaishnavacharya. Text 48. Chaitanya Leela Ravyasa Dasa Vrindavana Madhura Koriya Leela Korila Rachana Madhura Koriya Leela Korila Rachana Krishna Krishna Madhava.
Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, the translator of the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is as good as Srila Vyasadeva. He has described the pastimes as a way to make them sweeter and sweeter.
Yeah. So Vyasadeva is the author of Krishna's pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam was written by Vyasadeva, and the same Vyasadeva has written Chaitanya Bhagavat. Same, right? So same Vyasadeva has come as Vrindavan Das Thakur to give us Chaitanya Bhagavat, and earlier he has given us Srimad Bhagavat. So here Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, the authorized writer of the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is as good as Srila Vyasadeva. He has described the pastimes in such a way as to make them sweeter and sweeter. Nowadays, what happens? People they're afraid that their followers will go away to someone else. So they make sure that their followers are with them. And here, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying, you should all go there. He's a great, his writings are really sweet. He's authorized to write the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Text 49. Grantha Vistara Bhaye Chadila Je Je Sthana Sei Sthane Kichu Koriba Vyakhyana. Priyanka Mataji, you are able to read?
Hare Krishna Mataji, please
Yes,
accept my
Mataji.
humble obeisances. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Translation. Being afraid of his books becoming too voluminous, he left some places without vivid descriptions. I shall try to fill those places as far as possible.
Yeah. So why Vrindavan Das Thakur didn't write everything elaborately? Because the book will become too fat. It will become too voluminous, right? So therefore, he didn't elaborate on all. So specifically, Vrindavan Das Thakur writes nicely, elaborately on the childhood pastimes, the early pastimes of, and even pastimes as a Grihastha, early pastimes. He elaborates on them nicely. But the later pastimes, and even that, especially the philosophical parts, the teachings, he doesn't touch so much on that. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying why he didn't do, not because he didn't know or anything, but because he was afraid that the book is becoming too voluminous. So he left out some places. I will take those which he left out and I will fill those gaps as far as possible. Look at the humility. प्रभुरा लीलामृत ते हो कोयला आस्वादन Tara Bhukta Shesha Kichu Koriye Charvana. Radhika Kasturi Mataji, you are able to read?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, translation.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Pranams, Mataji.
Pranam Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
The transcendental pastimes of Lord Chaitanya have actually been relished by Sri Vrindavan Das Thakura. I am simply trying to chew the remnants of the food left by him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Vrindavan Das Thakur, he is the one who is actually tasting. He's the one who is tasting the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? Like when someone takes prasadam, he relishes nicely, and whatever is left on his plate, his remnants, then the servants come and whatever is left they take, like that. Or you can say the spiritual master eats, and after he eats whatever is remaining, the disciples, right, with great relish, they honor that whatever is left by the spiritual master, like that. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying that Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, he's the one who actually relished the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and whatever he has left behind, right, he that I'm trying to chew on whatever is left behind by him. I'm simply trying to chew the remnants of food left by him. That means the parts of Chaitanya Leela which were not touched on by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, that's what I'm going to talk about. Adi Leela Sutra Likhi Shuno Bhaktagan Sankshepe Likhiya Samyak Najaya Likhana. Achintadev Prabhu.
Translation. My dear devotees of Lord Chaitanya, let me now write a synopsis of the Adi Leela. I write of these pastimes in brief because it is not possible to describe them in full. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you. So now we completed in sutra form in a general way. What are the contents of Chaitanya Charitamrita in a general way? Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has given. Now he's saying, I'm going to give you a synopsis of the Adi Leela. I write these pastimes in brief because it is not possible to describe them in full. And also we will see how he guides us there also to Vrindavan Das Thakur, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. Kono vancha purana lagi Vrajendra Kumar avatirna hoite mane korila vichar. So this is how it begins. Aditi Lata Mataji or Arunit.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
To fulfill a particular desire within his mind, Lord Krishna, Rajendra Kumara, decided to descend to this planet after mature contemplation.
Yes, Hare Krishna. So this is before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu even descended. Who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Krishna. So after mature contemplation, Krishna decides. Rajendra Kumar. Krishna means which Krishna? Not Dwarka Krishna. Krishna means Vrajendra Kumar, Vrindavan Krishna. The Vraja Indra, king of Vraja is Nanda Maharaj, the son of Nanda Maharaj, Lord Krishna. He contemplated like this after mature contemplation. And why? Because he had some desire, a particular desire, and he wanted to fulfill that desire. Therefore, he planned like this. Aage avatarila jai guru parivara sankshepe kohiye kaha na jaya vistara.
Lord Krishna therefore first allowed his family of superiors to descend to the earth. I shall try to describe them in brief because it is not possible to describe them fully.
Yeah. So like in Krishna Leela also, what did Krishna tell the demigods? First he said, first all of you go and take birth in the dynasty, Yadu dynasty. And then you set the scene and then I'm going to come, like that. So the elders are sent first, like his father, mother, gurus, like that, all the elder members. So Lord Krishna first allowed his family of superiors to descend to the earth. I shall try to describe them in brief, again, in brief, because it's not possible to describe them fully here. Sri Sachi Jagannatha Sri Madhava Puri Keshava Bharati Ara Ishwara Puri, Advaita Acharya Ara Pandita Srivas, Acharya Ratna Vidyanidhi Thakura Haridas. So these are all the superiors that appeared before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna Shish.
Lord Sri Krishna, before appearing as Lord Chaitanya, requested these devotees to precede him. Sri Sachi Devi, Jagannath Mishra, Sadhavendra Puri, Keshava Bharati, Ishwar Puri, Advaita Acharya, Srivas Pandit, Acharya Ratna, Vidyanidhi, and Thakur Haridas.
Yes. So Sri Sachi Devi, his mother, Jagannath Mishra, his father, Madhavendra Puri is he is the original person who actually was tasting Madhurya Rasa. Before him, no Acharya or no one was actually relishing the Madhurya Bhav. Madhurya Bhav means conjugal relationship with Krishna or the Gopi Bhav. Nobody else had that. Madhavendra Puri is that's why he's called the very trunk, right, of, or actually the root of the tree of devotional, of the tree, of the desired tree of Lord Chaitanya, or of devotional service. So from Madhavendra Puri, so Madhavendra Puri was sent first. And then Ishwara Puri is Madhavendra Puri's disciple, and Ishwara Puri is the Guru of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Keshav Bharati is Sannyas Guru of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Advaita Acharya, we know. Advaita Acharya is Panchatattva, one of the Panchatattva, and he is also Lord Sadashiva and Mahavishnu. And also he is one of the elder members, the father figure. He is actually the god brother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Guru. Srivas Pandit also, like the contemporary of Advaita Acharya. And he is also one of the Panchatattva. Acharya Ratna is Chandrasekhar Acharya. That's where that's called Chaitanya Mat today, where we have the Samadhi of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in Mayapur. That is the house of Chandrasekhar Acharya. So Mahaprabhu would perform pastimes in Srivasangan and the home of Chandrasekhar Acharya, and also at Yogpit, like that. Vidyanidhi and Thakur Haridas. Haridas Thakur, we all know. Vidyanidhi, I'm not sure about Vidyanidhi. Okay, next. Sri Hatta Nivasi Sri Upendra Mishra Nam Vaishnava Pandita Dhani Sadguna Pradhan. Madhava.
There was also Sri Upendra Mishra, a resident of the district of Sri Hatta. He was a great devotee of Lord Vishnu, a learned scholar, a rich man, and a reservoir of all good qualities.
So now we are going to come to the immediate predecessors, the lineage of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there was also Sri Upendra Mishra, a resident of the district of Sri Hatta. He was a great devotee of Lord Vishnu, a learned scholar, a rich man, and a reservoir of all good qualities. Okay, Upendra Mishra is from the district of Sri Hatta, and he's a devotee, he's a Brahmana, learned scholar, and also a wealthy person, rich man, and he had all good qualities. Purport.
Mataji?
Yes.
Vidyanidhi is Pundarik Vidyanidhi, who's a singer.
Could be. Yeah, but it didn't say Pundarik Vidyanidhi. It's possible because Pundarik Vidyanidhi is also senior, superior. Yes. And he's the father of Srimati Radharani. But I'm not sure if that's what is meant here.
Oh.
It's possible. Yeah. But yeah, thank you for that. Okay, next. Purport. Priyanka Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Upendra Mishra is described in the Gaur Ganadesha Dipika 35 as the Gopal named Parjanya. The same personality who was formerly the grandfather of Lord Krishna appeared as Upendra Mishra at Srihat and begot 7 sons. He was a resident of Dhaka Dakshina Grama in the district of Srihat. There are still many sorry, Mataji.
problem.
Just
Yeah. No problem.
sorry, Mataji, my screen got black.
There are
So,
still
yeah.
many residents. You're able to see?
Yeah, now I can. There are still many residents of that part of the country who introduce themselves as belonging to the Mishra family of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Yeah. So Upendra Mishra is the father of Jagannath Mishra. Jagannath Mishra is the father of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So similarly, Krishna's father is Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Maharaj's father is Parjanya. So therefore, this Upendra Mishra is Parjanya, it is said. Okay. So Upendra Mishra is described as the Gopal name Parjanya. He's the same personality who was formerly the grandfather of Lord Krishna. And now he came as Upendra Mishra. Where did he appear? Srihatta in East Bengal or Bangladesh. And he had 7 sons. Upendra Mishra had 7 sons. He was a resident of Dhaka, Dakshinagram, in the district of Srihatta. There are still many residents of that part of the country who introduce themselves as belonging to the Mishra family of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay. Next. Sapta Mishra Tara Putra Sapta Rishishwara Kamsari Paramananda Padmanabha Sarveshwara Jagannatha Janardana Trailokyanatha Nadiyate Gangavasa Koila Jagannatha. Radhika Kasturi Mataji.
Upendra Mishra had 7 sons. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Upendra Mishra has had 7 sons who were all saintly and most influential. Kamsari, Paramananda, Padmanabha, Sarveshwara, Jagannatha, Janardana, Trailokyanatha, Jagannath Mishra, and the 5th son decided to reside on the bank of Ganges at Nadia.
Yeah. So Upendra Mishra had 7 sons. These are the names of the 7 sons. Kamsari, Paramananda, Padmanabha, Sarveshwara, Jagannath, Janardhan, and Trilokyanath. So number 5 is Jagannath. Who is that Jagannath? That is Jagannath Mishra. So where did Upendra Mishra reside? He was in East Bengal. He was in Srihatta district. But his 5th son, Jagannath Mishra, decided to reside on the bank of the river Ganges at Nadia. So he moved to Nadia. So we can maybe do another round. Jagannatha Mishravara Padavi Purandara Nanda Vasudeva Rupa Sadguna Sagara. Achintadev Prabhu.
Translation. Jagannath Mishra was designated as Purandara. Exactly like Nanda Maharaj and Vasudev, he was an ocean of all good qualities. Thank you, Maharaj.
Yeah, thank you. Purandar. Jagannath Mishra was designated as Purandara. Exactly like Nanda Maharaj and Vasudev. He was an ocean of all good qualities. So he's the same personality who appeared again in Chaitanya Leela. Nanda Maharaj and Vasudev. He had all the qualities of Nanda Maharaj and Vasudev, and he got the title Purandar. Right? Purandar means what? I think Purandar means king, like that. So just like Rajendra, who is king of Raja, Nanda Maharaj. Like that, Jagannath Mishra was designated as Purandar. Like that. Tara Patni Sachi Nama Pativrata Sati Jara Pita Nilambara Nama Chakravarti.
Mataji, in that word meaning Purandara meant Vasudeva's like Vasudeva. It was written.
Purandar means like Vasudeva.
That's what it was. See the previous verse, Mataji? There.
Yeah. Padavi Purandar. Purandar, another name of Vasudev. Purandar is another name of Vasudev. Okay. So in that sense, he's called Purandar, that he is actually Vasudev, Therefore, he's given the title Purandar. Okay, maybe. Yeah. But the word itself also, I was saying in the sense that the Sanskrit word itself has a meaning. So in that sense, I was thinking, but okay. So Purandar is another name of Vasudev. So in that sense, he has all the qualities of Vasudeva and Nanda Maharaj. That's also said here. Nanda Vasudeva Rupa Sadguna Sagar. He is full of, he's an ocean of all good qualities of Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva. And is given the Padavi or the title of Purandar. So translation next, Arunita or Mataji, I don't know, you decide.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
His wife, Srimati Sachi Devi, was a chaste woman, highly devoted to her husband. Sachi Devi's father's name was Nilambara, and his surname was Chakravarti.
Yes, what is the surname of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his father, let's say? What is the surname?
Mishra.
Mishra, Jagannath Mishra. And Sachimata's father's surname is? Chakravarti. Yeah. So Nothing. So Jagannath Mishra is an ocean of good qualities of Vasudeva and Nanda Maharaj, it is said. Now Jagannath Mishra married and his wife's name is Srimati Sachi Devi. She was a chaste woman, highly devoted to her husband. Sachi Devi's father's name is Nilambar Chakravarti. Okay, purport, Mataji.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, in the Gauragana Desha Dipika 104, it is mentioned that Nilambar Chakravarti was formerly Garga Muni. Some of the family descendants of Nilambara Chakravarti still live in the village of the name Magdoba in the district of Faridpur in Bangladesh. His nephew was Jagannath Chakravarti, also known as Mamu Thakura, who became a disciple of Pandita Goswami and stayed at Jagannath Puri as the priest of Tota Gopinath. Nilambara Chakravarti lived at Navadvip in the neighborhood of Belpukuria. This fact is mentioned in the book Prema Vilasa. Because he lived near the house of the Qazi was also considered one of the maternal uncles of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Qazi used to address Nilambar Chakravarti as Kaka or uncle. One cannot separate the residence of the Qazi from Vamanapukura because the tomb of Qazi is still existing there. Formerly, the place was known as Belapukuria and now it is called Vamanapukura. This has been ascertained by archaeological evidence.
Wow, thank you. So Bamanpukur, this is in Mayapur. You'll find on the way when you go to Rajapur Jagannath Temple or Simantadweep. On the way to that, you will find Bamanpukur. It's a marketplace now where everyone goes to buy their vegetables every day, but sabji mandi. But there you will find the tomb of Chand Kazi. And also, if you have visited there, you'll find a neem tree and I think a champak tree. They are actually growing together, entwined. So the neem tree is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and this Chand Kazi is that the other tree. Together they're growing. So what is Srila Prabhupada saying here? This Baman Pukur was earlier called Bel Pukuria. Actually, when we go on Parikrama, we also go to Belpukur, and it is said that Nilambar Chakravarti's house is in Belpukur. So the picture that I sent you of that Krishna deity who was worshipped by Nilambar Chakravarti, that is in Belpukur. And of course, we go via Bamanpukur only, like in the inside. So we have the main road on which you see Chand Kazi's Samadhi, but the rickshaw person takes you inside through the fields. He will take you, so it's in the same area. That's the whole point. That's why Srila Prabhupada is saying earlier it's called Belpukuria, like the whole market and everything, that area was called Belpukuria. Now it's called Bamanpukur. But when you go inside where the temple is actually located, that place is still called Belpukur. At least the devotees call it the temple of Belpukur. We go there. So, okay. And another point is the nephew of Nilambar Chakravarti is called Jagannath Chakravarti, also called Mamu Thakur. We read about him when we were reading about the branches, sub-branches of Gadadhar Pandit. So Gadadhar Pandit branches, under his branches we read about Mamu Thakur. So he became a disciple of Pandit Goswami, means Gadadhar Pandit. And Gadadhar Pandit was worshipping Tota Gopinath in Jagannath Puri. He took Kshetra Sannyas. So after him, Mamu Thakur became the priest of Tota Gopinath. That's the point. And another thing is Chand Kazi also lived in the same vicinity, and Chand Kazi used to call Nilambar Chakravarti uncle, Kaka. So therefore, and Nilambar Chakravarti is grandfather of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chand Kazi became the uncle of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because Chand Kazi is calling Nilambar Chakravarti uncle. So later on we will see when Mahaprabhu did that civil disobedience movement. When he went to Chand Kazi's house, he was very scared. So he comes out and he says, Nimai, I'm like your uncle because your grandfather, I used to address him as Kaka, so you become my nephew. You should not be angry with your uncle, like that, he says. So anyway, so this is about Nilambar Chakravarti and his daughter Sachimata, who is the wife of Jagannath Mishra. Radha Deshe Janmila Thakura Nityananda Ganga Dasa Pandita Gupta Murari Mukunda. So Mahaprabhu sent, Lord Krishna sent his superiors first, right? His associates. So we read about the seniors. Who else came? Translation. Krishna Shish. Can't hear.
Radha Desh, the part of Bengal where the Ganges is not visible. Nityanand Prabhu, Ganga Das Pandit, Mulari Gupta, and Mukunda took birth.
Yes. So we can understand that they are all older than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They appeared before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes. So in Radha Desh, where we have Eka Chakra, Nityananda Prabhu appeared, and others, Gangadas Pandit. Gangadas Pandit is actually the teacher, and later on they all moved to Navadvip. But they appeared there, they took birth in these places. So in Radha Desh, Nityananda Prabhu appeared, Gangadas Pandit, and Murari Gupta, we know. Murari Gupta, in Mayapur, you find the Ram Sita temple, that is Murari Gupta's residence, and he is Hanuman. And also Mukunda. We read about Mukunda also in many places. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes in Navadvip, we read about Mukunda. So they all appeared in Radha Desh. Nityananda Prabhu, Gangadas Pandit, Murari Gupta, and Mukunda. Okay. So first paragraph, Madhava, you read the first paragraph.
Here, Radha Desh refers to the birth of the name Ekachakra in the district of
Birbhum.
Next to Burdwan. After the Burdwan railway station is another branch line. It's called the Loop Line of the Eastern Railway. And there's a railway station of the name Malapura. 8 miles east of this railway station, Ekachakra village is still situated. Ekachakra village extends north and south for an area about 8 miles. Other villages, namely Veerachandrapura and Veerabhadrapura, are situated within the area of the village of Ekachakra. In honor of the holy name of Veerabhadra Goswami, these places are renowned as Veerachandrapura and Veerabhadrapura.
So who is Veerabhadra? Veerabhadra is the son of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, and he is the greatest, branch after Nityananda Prabhu. So in honor of Veerabhadra Goswami, the places are named Veerachandrapura and Veerabhadrapura. Okay. So next, so when we say Radha Desh, we mean Eka Chakra. Okay. So that means they all appeared in Eka Chakra. That's what Srila Prabhupada is saying. When we say Radha Desh, means here it refers to the village Eka Chakra, and it is still there. How to get there by train, the directions have been given. Okay, next. So Mataji is not able to read. Radhika Kasturi Mataji, you can read.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
On Bankima Raya's right.
In the Bengali year.
Oh, sorry. In the Bengali year 1331 AD 1924, a thunderbolt struck the temple of Ekachakra Grama. Therefore, the temple is now in a broken state. Before this, there were no such accidents in the quarter. Within the temple, there is a deity of Krishna established by Sri Nityananda Prabhu. The name of the deity is Bankima Raya or Bankaraya.
Yeah. Continue, Mataji.
On Bankim Raya's right side is the deity of Janava. On his left side is Srimati Radharani. The priests of the temple describe that Nityananda Prabhu entered within the body of Bankim Raya, and the deity of Janava Mata was therefore later placed on the right side of Bankim Raya. Afterwards, many deities were installed within the temple. On another throne within the temple are the deities of Muralidhara and Radha Madhava. On another throne are the deities of Mano Mohana, Vrindavan Chandra, and Gaur Nitai. But Bankim Raya is the deity originally installed by Nityananda Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, thank you.
Thank
So
you.
this is in Ekachakragram. When Prabhupada wrote this, at that time we didn't have a temple. Even I visited in the year, I think 2002, and they didn't have a temple. ISKCON temple had just started. They didn't even have like a, it was just like a kind of, like you would call a storefront here, something like that. They didn't have any gates, doors, nothing. It was just like an open, how do you say? Like you have these bus stations, like that. It was just open. The deities were there. Um, and now we have such a beautiful temple with the deities and very nice. For a few years now, we have a full-fledged temple in Ekachakra. But I visited this temple also, Bankim Rai, very small, right? So Prabhupada is saying here that it was broken. The temple is now in a broken state, the original temple, right? It was struck by a thunderbolt. And within that temple, there is a deity of Sri Krishna established by Sri Nityananda Prabhu. And the name of the deity is Bankimarai or Bakarai. Why Bankimarai? He's bent like this. He's bent like normally only Krishna is bent. Generally also we see he's bent, but he's bent even more in this deity. And he's bent towards Srimati Radharani like that. So it's called Bankimarai or Bakarai. Okay. And so first, Nityananda Prabhu, when he was there, he installed this deity of Radha Krishna. So there is Banki Prai with Radharani originally. And then Nityananda Prabhu, when he wound up his pastimes, he entered into the deity of this Krishna. So then the devotees installed Janava Mata next to Krishna on the other side. Because there's Nityananda Prabhu also, that's why they installed Janava Devi like that. The priests of the temple describe that Lord Nityananda Prabhu entered within the body of Bankim Rai and that the deity of Janava Mata was therefore later placed on the right side of Bankim Rai. And then after that, many other deities were also installed like that. Muralidhar and Radha Madhav. Then you have Mano Mohan, Vrindavan Chandra, Gaur Nitai. But Bankim Rai is the deity originally installed by Nityananda Prabhu. Also, you have this big tree under which Nityananda Prabhu used to sit, especially when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him that he was going to take sannyas. It is said Nityananda Prabhu sat under that tree and he wept so many tears in separation from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that separation means now his hair is going to be cut. And he was thinking about the sufferings of Sachi Mata. How is she going to handle this? So he wept so many tears sitting under that tree. And also, so anyway, like that. So on the eastern side of the temple, we didn't read that, right? So we will continue with that tomorrow because it's a big purport. It's a big one. Let's keep it for tomorrow. I will bookmark it here.
And also what, Mataji?
There's also, there's two temples, Mataji, back then when I saw. So in another temple, you see Nityananda Prabhu with his associates. So Bankim Rai's temple is another. It's another temple. You have to walk some distance, and then in front of this tree there is another temple where, and now I forget the names of the deities, but like Panchatattva, there's I forget the details now, Mataji. I didn't even have a camera when I went back then, but I distinctly remember going there. So that's why, because I couldn't recollect all the details, I said anyway. But there's another temple there. Just I even got the leaves, fallen leaves of that tree. I kept it in I used to read Chaitanya Bhagavat every day, so I kept that in my book for many years. And anyway, I don't know when
Yes, Mataji, so many things. One more thing, Mataji, when I read this Chaitanya Charitamrita, all these, villages and all these odd names I'm saying because it's unknown to me, that's why, and unusual names. Then actually my faith for Kali becomes stronger because, it is written there that Kali is going to be born in particular village. In Bhagavatam it is written, right? That name was also very odd. Like we don't hear that name. Where is that village? We used to, always ask. So
where
now,
Kali will be born, you said?
yes, Kali during the annihilation. In Bhagavatam it is written, no, he will be born. His father's name,
Kalki,
not
Kalki, right?
Kalki,
Kalki.
not Kali.
Kalki is the Lord. He's the
Yeah.
incarnation.
Kalki will be born in this certain village, and his father's name this. So that village name is so unusual. Remember, we were asking that where is that village,
Yeah, the
Mataji?
village name I didn't recollect, but the father's name is, I think, Vishnu Yasha. That's the name of the father.
Yes, but the village we don't know where it is now.
Yeah.
So there must be some village named like that because there are so many villages we hear in Chaitanya Charitamrita. We don't even know those names, I'm
Acha, acha,
hearing
like
first
that.
time.
Yeah.
So there must be some village there,
Certainly, of course,
don't
certainly.
know yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Amu,
it must always, or it must be there already somewhere, just we don't know.
yes, just
It
we
must be
don't
written.
know. Yes, Mataji.
So, Eka Chakra, it's heard in Mahabharata because like that Nishada who tried to make the Dronacharya.
Ekalavya.
Yeah, Ekalavya. He was born in the village of
Ekachakra.
yeah, Eka Chakra.
Really, Mataji?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. But in Eka Chakra, we know Bhimsen kills this Bakasur.
Oh, yeah.
That is Eka Chakra. And the Pandavas stay in Eka Chakra during their hiding after the Lakshagraha thing, right? When the Lak house was burnt, they were living in hiding for 1 year. Vyasdev suggested that they go and live in Eka Chakra. And that's where they hear some Brahmanas passing by. They stopped by and they told them about Drupada's daughter Swayamvar, and they should also go, and they went. And that's how they won the hand of Draupadi and came back. All that happened in Ekachakra, same place.
Oh, at that time it was huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there.
I thought that they won Draupadi before.
No, they stayed there, and then some villagers, some Brahmanas, they stopped by. They were on their way to Panchala to attend the Swayamvar of Draupadi. Brahmanas were not going there to win the hand of Draupadi because there's such a big program and so many donations will be given by Drupad Maharaj, and daughter is extraordinary. She's directly born from fire, like that. So they were going there because it was going to be a great festival. So they were going there. So they told about the glories of how she appeared and all that. So they said, we are going, we are Brahmana, you are also Brahmana, just come along. You're going to get so many gifts. It's going to be a wonderful program. Let's go. So they also went like that. And then they went and they won the hand of Draupadi and they came back with her again to Ekachakra. And then that's when Lord Krishna also came and met with them, right? And then revealed to Draupadi, that they are actually the Pandavas and all that. And then Drishtadyumna came and he was also listening to see what's going on. All that happened in Ekachakra. And then
But
finally,
Ekachakra is village now, Mataji. At that time, was it a
village, even then it was a village.
okay.
Okay, yeah, Isha saying it. Yeah, Isha wants to tell a story about Ekachakra from Mahabharata. Yeah.
So first, so this is related to Bakasur. So when before Bakasur attacked the village, there was a king, and but he was like a very non-Kshatriya like king. I mean, like he wasn't very strong or anything. He wasn't very brave, I guess. But
The king of Ekachakra.
yeah,
Mm.
but when Bakasur came, he ran away because he was scared. And then Bakasur, he caused chaos over there and started eating everyone. And then the people who lived there, they decided it's not going to work like this. So they decided to make a deal with him. And then they went and told him, how about we send you food every week? I think every week.
Every day, no?
No, I think it was every
Once
week.
a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
That there will be a cartload of food driven by 2 buffaloes, and a person will go with them, and he will eat all of them, the food, the person, and the buffaloes. So he agreed, but he said, if you miss even once, then I'll come back and eat all of you, and that's how.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's from Ekachakra. So Mataji is asking, is Ekachakra a kingdom or is it a village?
It was a kingdom, and then it turned into a town.
Yeah, because the king ran away, so it came down to that.
Oh,
Okay.
so interesting. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Isha.
Thank you, Isha. Thank you,
Isha
Mataji.
Didi.
Isha Didi.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji, and thank you, Isha.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.